You know, I don't think that even Casper the Friendly Ghost would want to hang out with the Boo Brothers. Hey everyone, this is Rabbit Ears Blog Animation Bliss, and welcome to another Spotlight Cartoon Corner. So today's Spotlight cartoon we talk about today is Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers. And before I get into my thoughts about this movie, here are a few words from the channel. Alright Animaniacs, now let's get on the social media train. Want to chat with us in 100 words or less? Then check out our Twitter account. Want to chat with us within a group? Then check out our Facebook account. Want to get the lowdown on everything dealing with animation on this channel? Then check all of the above. And now, we return to our regularly scheduled program. So the movie starts off with Shaggy finding out that he inherited a plantation from one of his relatives, Colonel Beauregard, and he, Scooby, and Scrappy-Doo ended up going down to the plantation so Shaggy can claim his ownership towards the plantation. But unfortunately, it turns out that the plantation is haunted, and so Scooby, Scrappy, and Shaggy decide to hire a bunch of ghost exterminators named the Boo Brothers. And while the Boo Brothers try to help out in exterminating ghosts, Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy try to go and find the treasure that's actually hidden in the plantation. But unfortunately, the three of them have to deal with a lot of threats that's coming their way, which includes two ghosts that are after them, a sheriff, an escaped circus ape, and two hillbilly siblings who are after Shaggy because Shaggy's ancestor happens to be fighting with their family for many years. Seems like a lot of characters in this film. Don't worry, it gets crazier as the movie goes on. So what are my thoughts about Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers? I thought it was a pretty decent entry in the Scooby-Doo franchise, and let's talk about what I did like about this movie. So the first thing I like about this movie is that it seems like a Scooby-Doo movie. And what I mean by that is that we actually have a mystery being solved here, and we actually have a bunch of monsters going after the main protagonist. Usually when you watch anything from the Scooby-Doo franchise, it deals with a group of kids and their dog and how they try to go and solve a mystery, but then they're trying to escape a monster of the week, and then towards the end of each episode they find out that the monster was actually a disguised criminal who was trying to go after some kind of money or anything else that happens to happen in that episode. And that's basically the gist of the Scooby-Doo franchise. And this movie does the exact same thing. Like you have Scooby, Shaggy, and Scrappy trying to solve a mystery about where the treasures are hidden at the plantation, and then they have to avoid all these ghosts that are coming after them that are trying to go after the treasure themselves. And I like the fact that this movie was able to retain the big staple of the franchise of having a group of kids trying to solve a mystery and trying to escape the monsters at the same time. Another thing I liked about this movie was the humor itself. So this movie seems more like a gag-based type of film where it's basically focused on the humor, whereas the plot takes kind of a back seat. And I do like the fact that there's a lot of humor in this movie. Like you see a lot of antics from the Boo Brothers themselves, and then you see the strange antics from the hillbilly siblings, Sadie Mae and Billy Bob. And of course you got the ridiculous antics of the sheriff himself. So I do like the fact that there's a lot of humor in this movie. Now that I talk about some of the things I liked about this movie, let's talk about some of the issues that I have with this film. So the biggest issue I have with this film was that the plot felt very bloated. Like there was just so much going on in this movie, and you have so many characters in this movie that I had a hard time trying to figure out who were the main characters that we're supposed to focus on. So of course Scooby, Shaggy, and Scrappy are the main characters we focus on, but since the title of the movie has the Boo Brothers in it, I would have assumed that the Boo Brothers would have main focus in this film, but they don't really have a lot of focus in this film because there's so many other characters in this film, like the giant circus ape and the ghosts themselves and the hillbilly siblings that are also taking up a lot of screen time in this movie, and I couldn't figure out which characters we're really supposed to be focusing on. And then another issue I had with this movie were the Boo Brothers themselves. Like the Boo Brothers are supposed to be parodies of the Three Stooges, but I just didn't find the Boo Brothers to be that funny. I just found them to be a bit annoying, and I just couldn't deal with a lot of scenes that they were in. I even found the ghostly trio from Casper to be way more entertaining than the Boo Brothers. But yeah, if you like the Three Stooges, you might like the Boo Brothers, but for me personally, I didn't really care for them that much because I found them to be very annoying, and they tend to get in the way of Scooby, Shaggy, and Scrappy trying to find the treasure, so I didn't care much for the Boo Brothers in this film. But overall, despite the fact that the film felt very chaotic and I didn't care much for the Boo Brothers themselves, I thought this movie was really fun. Like, there's a lot of gag-based humor in this movie, and I like the animation itself. Like, the animation was much more fluid than what I've seen in any of the other Scooby-Doo movies that came after this one. And so if you're looking for a Scooby-Doo movie that has a good mixture of real monsters and of the classic Scooby-Doo formula, then I definitely recommend Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers. So that's my review on Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers, and tell me in the comments down below, have you seen Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers? And if you have, did you like this film? Did you hate this film? And out of all the Superstars 10 series that was made for Scooby-Doo, which Scooby-Doo movie was your favorite? Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, or Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers? Please let me know in the comments down below. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Rabbity Swallow Animation Bliss, and I'll see you guys later. Oh, and happy Halloween, everybody.